Hello everyone. Now I am going to discuss about the topic types of electronic communication system. Electronic communication system, which includes various technologies and methods to establish an effective communication between 2 points. These systems can broadly categorized or classified into various types such as wired communication, wireless communication, analog communication, digital communication, broadband or broadcast communication, and finally point-to-point communication. These systems just include say starting from telephone to smartphone, or say starting from copper wire network to satellite communication network. So these classification involves all these categories. So let us look into based on what parameters these classification have done. So the first one, it is based on signals that we are using. Based on signals, we can classify the electronic communication system into two types, that is analog communication and digital communication. Next, based on transmission medium or channel, we can classify again into two types, that is wired communication and wireless communication system. And one more type, that is based on user or one who consumes the information. So based on that, again we can categorize the electronic system into two types, that is point-to-point communication and broadband communication. So let us just go through all these types in detail by taking some examples. So the first one, that is analog communication system. So as the name suggests, the signals that we are processing here, that is in the analog form. For example, audio signal or sound signal, video signal, or any text messages that we are sending in terms of analog means. For example, telephone networks or the landline telephone system that transmit analog voice signal or audio signals over copper wires. Here copper wires is a medium or channel for the transmission. And the next example that we can take here, that is television. Television signals here that transmit both audio and video signal, that is in the analog form. And transmission and reception of the signal, it is through radio waves in the electromagnetic spectrum. And the next example that we can give, that is radio broadcasting, where different or various AM and FM radio stations that can broadcast the information or message signal using audio signals, and again they are in analog form, and the transmission, it is open air transmission and it is using radio waves. Next type of communication system based on signal, it is digital communication systems. Digital communication system which uses the signal in the digitalized form. That means the signals, it is processed in terms of zeros and ones, that is called as binary coded system. Digital device that encodes the information as binary data for processing and transmission. For example, in the mobile devices that we can transmit any varieties of information like voice, multimedia, or any browsing of information that is possible through cellular network or any Wi-Fi networks. Or global digital network that enables us to exchange, sharing, browsing of information between say computers or between mobiles using internet connection. Next type, it is based on the communication channel or medium that we are using in order to establish a communication. The first one, it is wired communication system. Again, the example that I can mention here, that is landline telephone. Landline telephone is a system that transmit and receive audio signal or sound signal, say nothing but our voice signals over copper wires. And one more example that I can give here, that is cable television. Any system that distributes television signals, nothing but it consisting of audio and video signal by the means of coaxial cable, or say nowadays it is also possible using optical fiber cables. So here the system and the transmission and reception of the signals, it is using wires. So physical channel exists between transmission and the reception. The next type based on channel, that is wireless communication and well-known communication system. So as I mentioned, say today's world is smart world and digitalized world, so that is because of this wireless communication system. So the first example that is very fundamental and known example, that is cellular communication system, where the mobile phone are used to transmit and receive the signal using electromagnetic waves or radio waves were used in order to transmit and receive any varieties of data. Next, it is satellite communication system, global communication network that rely on satellites in orbit. Say this orbit, which is here that I am mentioning about geostationary orbit, which is exclusively meant for communication. So these kind of satellites are also called as communication satellites, exclusively meant for communication. So these satellites or communication satellites, those release the signal across the larger distance. So that's why it is possible to get global news at our fingertips nowadays. Next example I can give Wi-Fi and Bluetooth systems. Short-range wireless protocols that enable us to get the seamless connectivity between varieties of devices like computer, smartphones, mobiles, or even in smart home systems. Next is depending on the users or the consumers, one who consumes the information. The first one, it is broadcast, or also called as broadband communication system. Again, the example that I can give, it is radio broadcasting. Any FM and AM radio station can be used this communication system in order to broadcast their signals. So broadcasting or broadband communication, which involves the process like it is one-to-many transmission. The transmission set is only one, but the receiver side or the destination can be many. So one-to-many transmission of audio signals through air or through radio waves, that is called as radio broadcasting. Similarly, one-to-many transmission of audio and video signals through air, again using electromagnetic spectrum, it is called as television broadcasting. And one more important about the digitalized world today, that is digital streaming of information signal, that is one-to-many transmission of audio, video or any multimedia information or content over the internet. And next, it is again based on the destination end, it is point-to-point communication systems. Telephone calls or mobile calls, directly we are connecting into a specific point or we are transmitting information into a particular point. So direct one-to-one voice communication between two points or two parties over telephone network, it is called as telephone calls, or it is example for point-to-point communication. And even video conferencing, it is a live calling or live talking over the mobile network. It may be between the individuals or among the groups. Next is email and messaging, exchange of text files or any multimedia content through phones, laptops or smart devices where we can effectively receive as well transmit the signals. So these all are about the effective types of electronic communication system. Thank you.